Well, welcome back to Changing Latitudes. On this episode, we take a journey into reshaping and restructuring the entrance into our home. When we first purchased the place, we really only did it by satellite and didn't know what we were getting into. But as we drove up, we realized how much the beauty of the property was hidden by quite a bit of overgrowth. So in this video, we're going to go through and show you how we took on the hillside, reshaped it, and also filled the pond that, as the seasons developed, it would turn into a mud pit, and that frankly was not too desirable as you come up to the property. In addition to that, it had the inability to really kind of maintain any brush around it. So we correct a lot of that, and let's get into it. First step was to take out all the foliage, which I outsourced. At the time, we were just coming onto the property and didn't really have many connections, and time was of a value at that point. And then we had a slight molehill that we had to take. But now moving on to me jumping into a skid steer and removing what will end up being about a foot of dirt. I didn't have the time or the resources at the time to get into multiple equipment pieces, so I probably, looking back, I would have used an excavator and then of course moved it around with the skid steer. All the debris that was collected from being there, again wild for many years, was pushed down to the pond. As you know, there was really nowhere else to put it, so it was a good idea to get it down there. And now on to the right side of the driveway. You know, taking down this hillside is a lot to do with the pond, but also it was so difficult to mow this area. You could not bring the tractor into this area because of risk of turning over. So this had to be done. It had to be shaped up one way or another. I just took the opportunity to take the debris down to the pond and also shape out the hill and bring the dirt over to areas that we had depressions throughout the property. With the hillside cleaned up and reshaped to where we want it to be going forward, we started importing dirt. As it turns out, when you're looking at whether you to import dirt or harvest it on the property somewhere else, from a cost perspective, it turns to be more practical to import it. So we started off with about 10 loads of dirt, and we'll come to soon learn that that was not enough. But as we go to fill in, we'll stretch it across and see what we get. like I said, right in the middle of that thing. On the blade. With 10 loads of dirt placed and the post which held up the old rolling gate rail removed, we cleaned up the brush around the pond and imported another 5 loads of dirt. We will soon learn that this coming season we would not have enough to elevate the dirt around and keep the water within the creek. But that is for a future problem in a future video.
Well, I think you get your rock and everything in here and you clean it up a little bit, then you figure it out. It's not like there was a fire.